Collins, and this is Truly Helpful, the podcast. The podcast is designed for you and yours. Today, I really want to talk about something that the dialogue has been really good in the community lately, and it's about being a father. Most of you know, and those who don't, I have a 2-year-old, Noni, and I also have a 1-year-old, my son, Nasur. So I have a girl and a boy. And when I tell you, being a father is one of the hardest, most rewarding things I've ever experienced in my life, right? Uh, Being a dad can be so frustrating. It can be tiresome, redundant, uh, and it pushes you to its limits, your limits, 100%. You don't really know who you are, in my opinion, or at least for me. I didn't know who I really was as a person until my children came into the world, right? But also being a father is so rewarding, gives you like this infinite amount of joy. It's amazing. Like, it's really cool. It's really cool to being a father. And I appreciate my children, Noni and Nasur, so much. Side note, the only reason why I started Truly Helpful the podcast, honestly, is because I wanted documentation for my children to understand exactly what their father was feeling, what he was thinking, uh, and also just going through at the time, and then they can do the timestamp. Like, oh man, dad was going through this at the time. I had no idea this was happening with our family or anything like that. And I was 1 year old or I was 2 years old, right? Because looking back, of course, everybody knows I speak super highly of my father who passed. And I wish that he would have done something like this, just so I can keep having those conversations, uh, get his thought process, his ideologies on life, family, being a black man in America, all these different things. Like, that would have been so valuable for me, especially in this time, because at this moment, with me being a father, there are times where I want my father, and I need my father, and he's not here in this physical realm right now. And so I think that's another point of why being a father is so dope, and I'm enjoying every second of it, because I understand at some point in time, I'm not going to be here for them, right? I have to transition and move on. And I just want to make sure that all of their time with me is valuable, precious. They learn something, and we have a lot of fun, right? And at the end of the day, I want my kids to know that their dad actually loved them leaps and bounds, like, you know what I'm saying? And so that's the only reason why Truly Helpful Podcast is even here. Some of the people, when we move on throughout the season, I'll bring some of my friends on that are experts in their particular field. And that for you, the viewer, for sure, but it's also for my daughter Noni and my son Nasur. So that way, if they want to know about banking, if they want to know about being an entrepreneur, which they'll naturally get that from me and their mother, but excuse me, have a little sniffles right now. But also, they will just learn all these different trades and different things from all these great people, because I think that's valuable, especially as a father. Your job, in my opinion, I think our jobs as fathers are to protect, lead, and serve our families, right? Protect, of course, that goes without saying. Making sure that they're always feeling in a safe space. That doesn't always mean somebody comes and threatens the home, that, you're ready to protect the family at all times. Yes, of course, that's a given. But also protecting, meaning having a safe space for your children to be able to talk to you. Having a safe space for them to be able to express themselves and be themselves, especially within your four walls, what you call home. We all know, especially in my perspective, a black man in this climate, it is it's tough. Let's be honest, it's tough, and sometimes the you have to do so much and put this shield up outside to make sure you just can survive. And I want my children to not feel that pressure when they come in the home, right? When they're around their father, in the home or outside the home, they understand that they're safe, they're secure, um, and they can just live life freely, and do what they need to do to be the best human beings they could possibly be. So that's that one for far as making it a safe space and protecting them. Also, just to being able to lead them. I think us as fathers, we're not always supposed to be the good guy, right? Especially in my day and age, a lot of young parents, younger parents, or parents my age, we always trying to be their friend. And that's cool because we are supposed to be their friends, but I don't think we're supposed to be their friends more so than we're supposed to be their leaders, right? Their guide, their teacher, right? Everybody wants their child to like them all the time, when in my opinion, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really care if Noni and Nas like me. I know that sounds harsh, right? But I don't. I care that they, one, respect me, and two, they love me as much as I love them. But far as like me, I don't think I would ever care if they like me or not. I'm just being honest. It kind of sounds crazy because I sound like my father. My father used to say the same thing. I don't need you to like me. I need you to respect me. He'll love me. That's all I need, right? And I'm honestly, I used to think he was so harsh about that, but now I get that because I'm in his shoes, and sometimes I feel like I can we can all let our kids fall to the wayside because we're trying to be their buddy, their pal, their friend, instead of giving them stern direction, to be the human beings they are supposed to be, right? And I think they can like their friends, right? They can like their cousins, their other family members, but as far as their father, I need you guys to respect me. I need you guys to know that your dad loves you, and I need you guys to understand everything that I'm doing is literally for you and your mother. That's exactly what it's for, right? Me, every now and then, a little sprinkle of myself is in there sometimes, but for the majority, everything that I do, focusing at a high level, is because of you guys. And now I'm talking to them as they're gonna see this years later. But Noni and Nas, I want y'all to know that Dad loves you, but I'm not keen on you liking me. Hopefully you like me, right? But if you don't, I understand. Because sometimes I'm going to have to be stern with you guys. Sometimes I'm going to have to be hard on you guys. Sometimes when you want to go left, I had to hold you and put you back in here to steer on straight and not go off to the side, right? That's my job. And I'm going to finish my job, and I'm going to do my job by any means necessary, right? And of course, it's always going to be a safe space for you guys to talk to me. It's always going to be open dialogue. My door is always open. And you guys can honestly just talk to me and be yourselves around me at all times. But you do have to understand there's a level of respect, there is a level of trust, and there's a code that us in this family follow. And you guys will be doing the same and are doing the same. I am so proud of these two individuals, Noni and Nasor. They're only 2-1. But just to see the growth of them at this small age, and now finally seeing their personalities be their own, and they're taking ownership of that, is just refreshing, as a father. And even in this hard time of where life is for me from a financial standpoint, I'm still feeling fulfilled because I have my children. And I think it's weird. It's like God made this situation happen for me to spend as much time as possible with those two, and I'm extremely grateful for it, if I'm being honest. Um, just to watch them grow, being able to be here with them every single day, not ripping and running like I was doing before. Because if my lifestyle was the same as before, they would see me every now and then. But right now, I've been here every day, just guiding them and helping them and molding them and shaping them. And it's the coolest thing as a father is when you're teaching them lessons, and at first it's so redundant. You're saying the same thing over there. No, stop. You know, I'm black, so you know we get some you know what I'm saying? But the cool part is when you see them turn the corner or hit the stride, and you see them now understanding that no, can't touch the stove is hot. Or Noni knowing her numbers and colors now. I can point to any color in the room and she's blue, gray, pink, white, black. You know, those type of things, I guess as adults we take for granted. But when you see your child literally don't come into this world not knowing anything, you have the responsibility, you are charged to teach them everything. And you start seeing their progression in them being an actual individual and have their own personality and learning like a sponge. For me, it drives me to have that almost kid-like mentality when it comes to life. I want to be a sponge, right? I want to be able to hit the curve and turn that next step and get those building blocks just like my children. So I'm learning with them, right? My children have taught me patience beyond measure. I felt like I was a pretty patient guy before. Not at all. Right? Kids have this keen way of showing you that if you, whatever you think you were, you actually are not that. And if you are that, you're going to have to prove it. And my children definitely being strong-willed like their mother for sure. They go test you every day and make sure that you stand on exactly what you say you are. My daughter Noni is like a mirror. If I say that I'm going to get up and work out, it's crazy. She's 2 years old. But at a certain time, when she wake up, she'll go, work out, work out. Like, it's her reminder saying, Dad, did you work out before you woke me up today? Because if you did it, this is your reminder to go do it, right? And so kids, it's just amazing how they keep you on track. They keep you honest. At least they're supposed to. And they have for me. They're making me so honest, making me look in the mirror, making me want to be the best version of myself. Not just for myself, but for them ultimately. And in return, man, that I can never repay them. I can't repay my children for the things that they've done for me already. And they only been on this earth for 2 years and 1 year. They're very valuable for me. And I know that most times us as fathers, we don't get as much credit as I feel like sometimes we deserve, because you're running a whole family, especially the ones that's there in their kids' lives, actively being there in their kids' lives, man. Salute to all y'all, man. I know what you're going through. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you feel like you don't get your just due. A lot of people sit there and say, well, I need you to help me more with the kids. And you just like, what I've been doing this whole time, right? I understand. I know how it go, bro. But look, cut out all the noise. Stay focused on your children. Because even though how hard it is right now, how difficult sometimes this thing can be, you don't feel like you get the credit you deserve, keep going. Because those children who are going to be grown adults are going to remember everything you did for them. Not every single thing, but them molding themselves as a great person and a good person is all because of you. Well, you're a big factor in that. So just keep pushing, man. Keep doing what you got to do. And remember, even when it gets hard, I'm doing this for my children. I'm doing this for my family, my legacy, right? And so how are you going to build your legacy and push that forward? And that's based off your own children, right? So that's just some game that I have, and what's been helping me going along with this. I mean, 2 under 2 is rough. I'm gonna be honest, not for the weak-hearted at all, but it's very fulfilling. And yeah, man, I'm just eager to learn and grow with them and continue to try to do the best I can on this podcast, because literally what I'm doing is downloading my thoughts and my way of thinking, ideologies for my children. They're going to literally go back and watch this and be like, dang, my dad thought like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I want to make sure they're getting the most clear, pristine version of that. And honest and open, because that's what I pride myself on. I pride myself on being an open book, not to an emotional standpoint to where it hinders, but also being very transparent and understanding that I'm a real person that have real feelings and thought processes and all these other things, right? And emotions, but able to take these things, filter those things out, and being able to share it with them. So for those dads out there, I just want to say, keep going, keep pushing. Love y'all, man. Keep grinding, man, because we're doing this for our children at the end of the day. We're doing this for our children. And the biggest, for me, I think the biggest reward that we can ever receive as men when it comes to being fathers is going through the years and seeing this child that you helped make become a great person in society, right? I think that's the ultimate reward. Um, Not a million jump shots being made or like your kid being like the number one player in the country or a billionaire. I mean, I think it's really that for me is that your child or my children grow up to be great human beings that care about people, that are very passionate about people, that want to do the right thing when people are looking and when people are not looking, right? And they hold themselves to a sense of accountability and respect for everybody until somebody doesn't respect them and they understand how to handle that as well, right? I think that would be my biggest reward as a father. Um, and one last thing before I sign off, I think also the structure and the shift of my mind and focus when my kids were born into this world is crazy to me. Before my children, it was all about me, how I feel, what I wanted to do, what I want to eat, who I want to marry. Even when I got married to my wife, yes, of course, I focused on her and make sure her needs are felt and everything like that. But of course, naturally, you still like, well, I want to make sure my needs are met and everything. That's why it still was somehow coming back to me. My children being born helped me understand that life is much bigger than just yourself, right? And it gives me another reason, another purpose, another mode, another gear that I didn't even think I could reach, um, to be a better person and to make sure I build a nucleus, for my children, for them to be able to be successful, and just to prosper as human beings. And that shift and that focus on my mind is not about me anymore. It's really honestly about them. I wouldn't even be able to go through this hard time in my life right now without my children. If it literally was just myself, I would have crumbled already. I would have crumbled for sure. There were times where I wanted to give up. I couldn't give up. Because as soon as I walked through the door after taking the job interview and they telling me no, and I walk through that door and the only thing I hear is pitter patter from their feet, and they don't know what just happened, right? The only thing they is like, daddy, 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 you know what I'm saying? And so those moments are so big for me. And so Noni and Nas, I want to say, Daddy loves y'all, and I appreciate you guys. Um, right now we in a little situation, but we gonna get out of it for sure. Y'all daddy's gonna make sure you guys are okay and you guys are taken care of, okay? And I know you're too young right now to understand exactly what's going on. And one day we'll sit here and maybe I'll have y'all beside me and we'll have this conversation. But until then, I want you guys to know that Dad loves you. I appreciate you both. You are the greatest gift that God and your mother could ever give me. Um, I love you guys very much. And I'm proud to be your dad. All right, y'all. This is Truly Helpful, the podcast. I'm your host, Salim Collins, and I'm a dad. Until next time. Oh, and remember, always go out here in this world and be helpful. All right.